just going to give them the full view of you too.
Look at that.
Can you give us a little spin? Oh yeah, kids. Look at that beautiful jersey, eh?
Oh, baby.
Very cool.
I had to do it. I had to do it.
And I think it's like we were talking about, I think it's from the same company that did the jersey I got too, right? So very high quality.
Oh yeah. No, it's great. It's awesome. As soon as I saw they were doing it, I had to pick one up.
Best comment so far comes from Andrew, and he just says, "Sexy AF." And Eric Hunter drops a gifted membership. He was so excited about you showing up with that on. And so the gifted membership let's see, who's that go out to? Fast Life Mike getting a free gifted membership courtesy of Eric Hunter, the absolute legend. Thank you very much, Eric Hunter, for the donation to Nothing Is Perfect. So Dustin,
our number one supporter now.
Our number one supporter. We're going to have to put his jersey in the rafters.
Absolutely. It's got to look like this, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's start off with the ups and downs, as we always do, for the first period of play. I think there's probably a good variety of both of those through that first period. Where do you want to start? Ups or downs?
I mean, up, good start again. Scoring on your first shot of the game, 2 games in a row on the road is exactly how you draw it up in the locker room. Just a really smart play by Pettersson to chip that ahead to Garland, and what Garland wired that one. Holy, just stepped into it, beating Silovs blocker side, which is great. And then Canucks kind of kept the pressure on. I think the shots were 5-0 to start this game.
Yeah.
You know, an unfortunate couple of penalties that they take there to kind of lose the momentum in the period, which moves us into the down, obviously. Canucks land, we're used to the bad luck. So Pierre-Olivier Joseph, first game back, blocks a puck that looks uncomfortable and stings him a bit, and he's unable to kind of move forward and block Dewar properly. And Dewar is able to get his stick on that one to get it past Lankinen, which is unfortunate. POJ fought hard to kind of stay in that play, but yeah, it was, you know, like you said, a mixed bag there. Obviously dummied in the face-off dot, but that's not a surprise when you have Sir Sidney Crosby on one side. And then, you know, Elias Pettersson, Max Sasson, Atu Ratu, like Neil Zoman. I mean, if you said this many games into the season, that would be our 4 centers on this team, I would have laughed in your face. But here we are laughing so we don't cry, right, buddy?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what a top line. Like, I was joking around, like it's essentially 1 line of Vancouver and then 3 lines from Abbotsford with a little bit of, you know, NHL content thrown in there. I mean, unfortunate penalty for Sasson and Ratu kind of getting their signals mixed, but that looked like a veteran play from the Penguins too, as they put it right towards the bench as the change was happening. So theoretically, Sasson should have let that puck go to prevent that. But I'm going to give it down to Evander Kane once again. The Canucks were doing fine. Yeah. And then a lazy penalty, putting his stick into a man's hands, an absolute nothing thing that you need to do because it didn't prevent him from doing what he was going to do. And all of a sudden, the Canucks are killing a power play against what is generally a very good power play. The Canucks do manage to kill off both, but that does completely change the momentum too against the Canucks.
Absolutely.
So, bat down to Evander Kane.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, he had the breakaway, almost scored, drew a penalty after that, but you still can't be putting your team a man down. The too many men on the ice, that stuff's going to happen when you have this many guys coming in and out of the lineup. You know, they're kind of like thrown into the fire here, and hopefully, I mean, it's pretty evident that a trade has got to be coming. Again, like I said, going to be backed into a corner and probably have to take it on the chin a little bit, but maybe we get something a little better in that sense by maybe overpaying. But this is what happens when you wait for bad things to happen or make decisions out of order. So, you know, it's tough to watch but I think the team, given the team that's on the ice right now, yeah, some ups and downs, but overall, that's an up of a road period for
Yeah.
a pretty beat up Canucks team.
When one player on the other team has more experience and points than your entire bottom six combined, you're pretty happy with a 1-1 tie after one.
Yeah.
Eric Hunter with a $10 dono. Happy birthday, Big Mac and Hog. It is only Big Mac's birthday, but we'll take the $10 dono anyways. Thank you very much, Eric Hunter. We appreciate you. And happy birthday again, Big Mac. Turning 32 years young. And then Carol.
Oh, just a young whippersnapper.
I know,
Holy.
right?
Happy birthday, Big
He
Mac.
seems so much more wise than that. Carol using the monthly membership message. Great job, Russell. Keep up the good work, my friends. My friend, know it's enjoy watching your streams. I'm glad you enjoy it, Carol. We're always happy to have you here. Such a beautiful heart you have, we can tell. Paper transactions. So me and you had a back and forth on this one. But essentially, the Canucks send Mancini down, which we saw on Sunday with all the chaos of everyone getting hurt. I guess at that point, they go to the league and say, hey, it's an emergency basis. Can we do this because it's an emergency? And the league is like, you're not doing this because it's an emergency. You're doing this because you're trying to save cap space. So absolutely not. He has to play a game down there. Is that kind of what you saw too?
I mean, yeah, like all last year, the Canucks did these paper transactions where they were constantly sending down guys that didn't require waivers to save a couple extra dollars on their long-term injured reserve cap money to use at the trade deadline, and then ultimately didn't use it last year. So they were trying to get away with doing the same thing this year. They called up Jimmy Schultz, who makes like $75,000 less than Mancini, to try and just save that much more for a couple days while they traveled. But the league going forward into next year with the new LTIR rules going into the playoffs, and also they're just trying to crack down on that sort of cap circumvention, said, no, Victor Mancini will have to play one game in the AHL before he can be recalled. So immediately following that phone call from the NHL, Jimmy Schultz went back down to Abbotsford on the same day. So the Canucks made no savings in that sense.
Do you think he made like an extra $1,000 in that hour or something like that?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe $50, right? So yeah, maybe we'll see a lot less of that cap gymnastics going forward from the Canucks this year. And I mean, I hate to say it, but they're likely getting some LTIR relief from Hedl. I mean, let's not call a spade a spade. I don't want to be a dark cloud on it. I just want to be clear, like his health comes first. And if he truly does have his 6th concussion of his career, then I mean, 98% of all athletes that have had 6 or more retire, no matter the age. So right now we're obviously hoping for the best for Hedl, but I do not see him ever playing hockey again.
I mean, it's one of those things. If you're hoping that a guy on your team has broken ribs, then you're probably not in a good situation, right? I would rather Hedl have broken ribs than a concussion, but at the same time, now and still, I had almost forgot about it, but every time Hedl takes a hit, I'm going to be like, oh man, is this the end of a man's career, or is this going to leave this man injured for the rest of his life, right? So that's just something we don't want to see. And we saw a couple of different of the people going on different podcasts talking about now it's time. You need to start thinking about retiring from the league because he might not be able to get out of here and be able to function normally.
Yeah, there's a pretty major consensus across all analysts and any hockey guys that know pretty well that, and we've experienced it as well before as an organization with Michael Furlan coming in and having the same sort of issues. It's happened to other players around the league as well. So there was also a time where we didn't think Sidney Crosby was ever going to play again. And then suddenly he came back and revitalized his career. So, you know, anything is possible. However, this one just feels like it was the last one. I just don't think he can risk it if it is a concussion, but we'll have to see what happens with the Canucks going forward. I'd expect a trade to be made within the week if the news isn't good about Hedel.
Artur Silovs, MVP of the World Championship when they didn't win gold, MVP of the Calder Cup playoffs when they won the championship, shutout in Game 7 against Nashville for the Vancouver Canucks. These are all accolades that we know from the King of Latvia, one of our favorite guys, still in all my videos because he says nothing is perfect. What did he mean for this team, the Abbotsford Canucks and the Vancouver Canucks before he left us? And is he missed, or are we doing okay without him?
I think we're doing fine without him. If you look down at the Abbotsford team, I mean, they have Nikita Tolopilo, who looks absolutely ready to step into a backup role anytime. They have Ty Young, who has an incredible just a structure to his game in the crease. He's very good with his puck control. He's very good with his positioning. And then you have Yuri Patera, who's kind of like a security blanket and has played some NHL games. Is perfectly capable of being an AHL backup or an NHL backup. So you have some security down there. The thing Silovs was a major security blanket when Demko was getting hurt consistently. But like we talked about last season, after he won the Calder Cup, his value was at an all-time high. And then as soon as the Canucks signed Demko to a 3-year extension, the writing was pretty much on the wall for Silovs, who had earned his spot in an NHL role permanently, whether that be a backup or a tandem that seems to be working right now for Pittsburgh, going one game Silovs, one game Tristan Jarry. So, I'm happy for him personally. I think it's the best thing for him as a player, and the Canucks were never going to get him onto the NHL roster. And if they tried to get him up or down through waivers this year, he would have been gone for free. So getting something back for him was good. Obviously, lots of memories with the Calder Cup finals, all the clinching games that he played and was putting up shutouts and just, will always be known here around these parts as like a clutch performer. Always put up the best games at the most important times. And then we'll always have kind of the weaknesses of being unable to track the puck from distance, right? And you saw tonight a slap shot that, most goalies really should have. He had plenty of room to cut off the angle and should be able to play aggressive enough to take that shot away from Garland. But again, one of his weaknesses and something that may plague him for the remainder of his career, depending on whether or not that just clicks or he gets the right coach that gets through to him.
So a big part of Artur Silovs' stint with the Abbotsford Canucks was the fact that he was able to help them win the Calder Cup last year, which we all know. But that means on this weekend, we're going to have the Abby Canucks playing out there in Abbotsford. It's going to be their home opener against the Ontario Reign on Friday at 7 o'clock. It is going to be the banner raising night. How excited are you to see the Canucks as an organization be able to raise any kind of banner into any of their stadiums?
Well, I mean, it's been a while, right? I think the last one was a Pacific Division Champion banner, which, at the end of the day, doesn't really mean anything. The one you want is the champion banner. So for it to be a full-on championship, I mean, I think it just starts a winning pedigree for the organization. And if you start it down low, you see what it did for the confidence in many of the players coming from that Calder team. We talked about it all preseason, how strong of a camp Sasson and Baines and Carlson were having. And now that they've been put together, you see the chemistry that they had in the Calder Cup finals translating directly to the NHL level, which is incredible in this situation of injuries where, you could take that fourth line, quote unquote, and bump it right up to be a second line. They're all defensively sound, 200-foot players. Max Sasson is a one-man breakout with his speed. You know, they're all going to dig in the corner and cycle the puck well. We saw Carlson already make a strong move on the power play to try and pull one out of the corner, like a power forward move. And that's something he really worked on last season, was being more of that dominant net front power forward presence where he does make those moves and has the confidence to tuck it around a goalie. And he almost had one there. And I love to see him doing that and being that kind of a player, because that's what makes him the most effective. And I really think this is a great opportunity for that Abbotsford line or Calder line or whatever we're going to call them, to really get some minutes to shine. And they're going to make it, they'll make us realize that it's not as bad as we thought it would be. I think going forward here for the next few games, while we wait for Besser to return from his personal things and maybe a couple other guys to come back from injury or perhaps a trade to happen.
The last point we'll look at just really quickly, I hope you saw it too. The PWHL Vancouver has released their jerseys that we'll be using this year. They also announced, it's kind of strange, they're going to wear these jerseys, but they're actually announcing the names of the team later on. So they're actually going to be the Vancouver somethings, but they're just going to wear these jerseys, and then their symbol and all that other stuff will be updated for next year. So essentially they're giving the two expansion teams, Vancouver and Seattle, the same treatment every team got, because none of the teams actually had names to start in their first year. So for the inaugural season for Vancouver and Seattle, they will be wearing just these Vancouver jerseys here, which are really good looking, if you ask me. Are you happy with what they ended up doing with these jerseys?
I like the Pacific blue, and I like the kind of cream off white, sort of like a Millionaires color.
Yeah.
And then the rust orange is enough different than like Oilers orange or stuff that it doesn't really immediately bring your mind to like, oh, the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously they look very bare right now, and I look forward to them naming the club and getting a logo. But yeah, no, for now, I really think they look sharp.
Yeah, it's a good look. I'm excited. I might even pick one of these up. We'll see. I have to decide who my favorite player is though first. So they should be getting their season started. I think it's in November will be their opener. So we'll keep our eyes on. I don't know if we'll do any live streams for them, but with the amount of Canuck stuff that we do, but you never know. I believe there is a triple header coming up sometime where all three, Abbotsford, Vancouver, and PWHL Vancouver, will be playing. So should be interesting to see.
I'm sure there is. Yep.
Yeah.
No, it'll be good. Enjoy
Cool.
the rest of the game. We will talk to you post game, and chat. We didn't get to some of your questions, so remember them for post game, because we will do a Q&A. Russ and I have added that to the post game show, so remember them for then. Enjoy the rest of the game. We'll talk to you soon.
Nothing is perfect.